So we are here with Mayor Stephen Fulop, the mayor of Jersey City, who is currently one of 6 candidates running for governor. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for doing this. Thanks for taking some time out.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Awesome. So we're going to jump right in with some questions.
Okay.
I am an educator, a teacher, a union president. So are many of the people in my community. Will you commit to fully funding our pensions as governor?
Yes.
Amazing.
Okay. Yes. Let me say this, that Jersey City is the only municipality in the state that also has its own pension.
Mm-hmm.
So we pay into the state pension and into the local pension, and it has the same challenges as the state. I've paid in 12 years, and we didn't get rid of the COLA, actually. So that's
Oh,
really
great.
important. Yeah. So I got a track record that's different than others.
Okay, I love that. So keeping with pensions,
Yeah.
unfortunately, right now with TPAP and PERS, we have 5 tiers.
Yes.
Are
Bad.
I love that. Very
Okay.
bad. As
Okay.
someone
Okay.
in
Good.
tier 5.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear you.
So will you commit to eliminating tiers 2 through 5 of our pensions?
Yes, I will. And I think that for those people that are skeptical of it, I'm not skeptical, but somebody might be watching this and be skeptical, they should understand that we are struggling to recruit new teachers into the profession. And when you have a huge amount of money that you're paying out of a relatively little salary comparatively to, let's say, police or fire, and you're paying into healthcare, and then you have these tier systems and it's difficult to move forward, it hinders the ability to get new teachers into the profession. So I think yes.
Yes, absolutely. So there are people that are skeptical, like you said. How are you going to eliminate tiers, whether it's the cost or logistics? Kind of what's your vision?
I think that the reality on the way that you got to communicate it is around teacher retention and teacher recruitment. I think being a mayor, I understand that it's hard to get people into this profession. It isn't like it was 20 years ago or 10 years ago. COVID made it more difficult, and the responsibility that teachers have today and all of the requirements make it more and more difficult. You got to think about teachers in a way similar to other public sector workers. There's huge disparities between compensation between fire department, police officers, and teachers. And I think you got to change some of those things to make it realistic.
Okay, all right, love that. So sticking with public education,
Yeah.
are you opposed to vouchers of any form? And do you fully support public education?
Yes, I'm opposed, and yes, I support public education. So I do not think vouchers in any form is productive, and I would think that public education and building on some of the success of the Murphy administration would be something that we would be very, very keen to do and aggressive about.
Okay, excellent. So, again, sticking with public schools,
Yeah.
we all know that the current school funding formula is not
Broken.
working. Yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
broken.
Yeah.
So obviously, some districts like Jersey City have been hurt with S2 cuts. Other districts like we're here in Asbury Park and Long Branch, and I'm sure Jersey City as
Yeah.
well, have been hurt because of the rising property values and income levels.
Yeah.
Do you have a plan for how to fix the school funding formula with that in mind?
Yeah. So I know in Jersey City we lost $250 million. So we all lost a huge amount of money, more than anybody else. And the legislators pointed to that you have some wealth primarily on the waterfront, and it didn't factor in that you have 70% free and reduced lunch. So you still have very high poverty rates. And I think that when you think about the school funding formula and modernizing it, you need to think about obviously poverty levels. You need to think about English as a second language. You need to think about the school districts that are moving towards desegregation. And you need to factor in other things other than strict dollars. And then the other thing that we need to do is to get more money into the system. And you do that by reassessing, let's say a millionaire's tax from 20 years ago is no longer a millionaire's tax. You need to capture people that made 2 million or 5 million and get more dollars into the system. And that ultimately gives you more flexibility.
Okay, awesome. So
What grade do you teach?
I teach high school. I'm high school
Okay.
math. Yeah. And I've been a teacher for a while in districts that have been hurt by the school funding formula
I got it.
recently. Yeah. But because I teach high school, great segue, because I haven't really heard anyone talking about this. Right now in New Jersey, we have a graduation proficiency assessment test. It's a really high stakes test that students have to pass in order to graduate. There's, a portfolio appeals process, but we're seeing more and more states like New York and Massachusetts move away from that
Yes.
high stakes graduation.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, and I think that makes sense, and New Jersey should follow. The reason is that what you end up getting is a lot of people trying to teach towards the test, and
Hmm.
not really getting best outcomes because they're more
Hmm.
focused on a test. And sometimes those tests are hard to calibrate because different kids have different backgrounds and
Hmm.
different struggles. And so, yes, I do think that culture obviously is not productive.
Okay, great. So we're going to end with some fun questions because we're
Okay,
down the shore.
okay,
So we are here in Asbury Park, but that doesn't need to, flavor your answer to this.
okay, go ahead.
What do you think is the best Jersey Shore beach?
I spent a lot of time growing up in Belmar, and so
Okay.
I would probably stick with Belmar.
Okay, excellent. We are right across the street from the Stone Pony.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to a concert at the Pony?
I have not any time recently, and the owner at one point was a guy by the name of Dominic. He's a Cuban guy. Actually, had a presence in Jersey City and owned the Stone Pony as well.
Oh, cool. All right,
Yes,
excellent. All right. Anything else you
he's
want
a good friend
to?
of mine
Oh,
actually, although
good.
he went missing recently. But that's
Oh,
another whole
okay.
another right. Go ahead.
Before we wrap up, anything else you want to say?
No, I just want to say thank you for your commitment to education. I know it's often a thankless job that
Hmm.
doesn't get the credit. I think that
Thanks.
a lot of parents during COVID learned how difficult that is.
Yeah.
And, hopefully that stays front and center in people's minds so that they could appreciate the profession a little bit more.
Yeah. Awesome. I love hearing that and I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. All right.
All
That
right.